I like humans in the same way that humans are fond of dogs. They're loyal, easily handled, clever and stupid. Just watching them is fun. And also, they love me.
For as long as humans have existed, control has been carried out through the abuse of power and the denigration of those without it. When control is the only means by which one can meaningfully connect with others, domination becomes the means and the end for them, and even their feelings of affection cannot be given without it being expressed through manipulation. Makima is the character that controls the narrative of Chainsaw Man more than any in the story by far. Her subtle manipulation over the story is displayed through the same kind of control being extended to the various characters. As the control devil, she embodies the fear of control that humans share, and does so within nearly every aspect of her character. Makima symbolizes every form of control that humans have enacted on each other. True to what she represents, she has complete control over almost every situation she's involved in. Every action she takes has been to influence and manipulate others, namely Denji, as within him lies the true object of her desire, and the one being she truly admires. None but the Chainsaw Man have earned genuine reverence from Makima, and this translates into her motives. Makima's motivations are not singular. She is driven by a number of different reasons, which include a combination of both a fondness and a lack of respect for humans, but also a deep sense of longing for an equal relationship between others akin to a family, as well as her adoration for the Chainsaw Man and how he contrasts everything else in existence with respect to her. Understanding how these reasons build off each other are key to recognizing what led Makima to pursue the subjugation of all humanity, as well as the exploitation and torment of Denji, all so she could reunite with and unleash the Chainsaw Man into the world. There are more or less two types of characters with respect to how they view Makima. They're either enamored with her, or they're rightfully wary of her and act against her in resistance, though the latter don't last very long. Unless they're Kishibe, because he's just that badass. Makima has an intimate understanding of human connection and how it can fulfill people's lives, as shown by every time she gives Denji a taste of how it can enrich his own life. Interactions between Makima and Denji are in essence completely staged events directed by Makima herself, not only giving what Denji has sought after all along, but also giving him a newfound purpose and connection to others. She gave hope to Denji's life of emptiness just so that she could take it all away from him once he truly started to understand what happiness felt like. Time after time, she continued to make her way closer and closer into Denji's mind, becoming the most important person in his life. Ironically enough, having meaningful relationships with others was a thing that she desired herself, though she had no real attachment to Denji in particular. Every gesture, every word of Makima's is deliberate, meant to keep Denji under the impression that she was what he had always needed his entire life, and that his life has no meaning without her. This kind of manipulation is all too common in real-life situations. Many individuals who are lost, alone, unsure of what to make of their lives, understandably seek guidance and fellowship. They often fall victim to the influence of people or groups who offer them what they've been seeking. It's been done through friends, family, cults, even entire governments and corporations. Makima embodies what such exploiters do to further their own interest at the expense of others. Makima giving Denji the life he had never had before was what drew him to her in the first place. This newfound appreciation for life is what kept Denji consistently captivated by her, as she represented everything that Denji had been yearning for. Nearly every time Denji faces dejection, Makima reassures and provides him with the encouragement he needs to keep him going, giving him renewed purpose and resolve in continuing to live a fulfilling life, each time showing him something new to appreciate about living, and by extension, her. Denji had not yet felt true loss, and Makima understood the idea that such people must be given something to truly cherish and appreciate before completely dismantling and taking it all away from them for them to truly suffer. Though her relationship with Denji is the most extreme case, she uses a similar approach with other individuals, though in different ways depending on the person she manipulates. Aki's life, for instance, was destroyed by devils, having lost his family and everyone he cared about. and Makima provided him with a direction to take his vengeance on, as well as a new life and new people to cherish, something he's immensely grateful for, and has given her his absolute loyalty as a result, which led him to a tragic fate. Makima has little to no empathy for people, but she does value them in the only way she can. An interesting aspect of Makima's name is shown by removing the ki, which makes it spell as mama. This alludes to the idea of Makima being more than a romantic interest to Denji, and that she fulfills the role of a maternal figure as well, making his attachment and dependence on her that much more extreme, as well as disturbing depending on how you look at it. It also alludes to her desire to be a maternal figure to humanity, being the caretaker and authority figure to all people. Makima does in fact have an affection for humans, though in a very demeaning way. She views humanity in the way one would view a dog, a creature to be cared for and loved, but not one to be treated on the same level of respect or dignity as herself. When Denji enters her home, she's shown to own numerous dogs, which she does show genuine affection to and enjoys being around them, which shows what humans really are to her and how she wishes to treat them all in the world she envisions for them. She wished to use the Chainsaw Man to do away with concepts that humanity would seemingly be better off without, such as war, hunger, and even death itself, making her ideal world get rid of all that would cause human suffering, but also the things that have made humanity evolve time after time through hardship and struggle. A world without such concepts is nearly impossible to imagine. It's not something I can fully wrap my head around myself. On the surface, it seems that Makima would create something like a utopia, and one can argue that such a world may be desirable, as human suffering would be minimized or possibly eliminated entirely. But the removal of the very things that have made us into what we are may actually make us more like the dogs Makima sees humans as. Makima likely understands the removal of such things would make humanity far more docile and easy to control. Though she does not love humans, that affection is coupled by a need to keep them domesticated as her pets indefinitely. This was her intended plan for humanity, yet if she had failed to gain control over the Chainsaw Man, she would have been completely fine with being destroyed by him herself. This would have given her satisfaction even if this meant she couldn't accomplish her goal of reshaping the world. Her reverence for him was this strong, which was not only because she was impressed by his deeds as the hero of hell, but that he was the only thing in the world that could give her what she had always yearned for. Makima can't make meaningful relationships with others due to her nature as the control devil and the way humans seem to her. She did not and could not see any of them as an equal, and most devils could not measure up to her in any regard, but she saw an opportunity in the Chainsaw Man for the fellowship and family she had always desired. The Chainsaw Man's nature is chaotic, which is in direct contrast to Makima's affinity towards keeping such chaos in check. Yet she realizes that the Chainsaw Man is a chaos that cannot be restrained, not even by her. The Chainsaw Man is everything that Makima isn't, yet is powerful enough to overcome her many times over. This, combined with the fact that he can give her the ideal world she desires for humanity, can lead one to understand why Makima would fall for him. She is absolutely elated when fighting him, and it's one of the few times in the story that she shows genuine joy. One such as her, who has been in control of every situation she's found herself in, is being challenged and overcome by the one who embodies the chaos to the order she has established throughout the narrative. Victory would allow her to make the world she wished to create, and defeat would mean that she would be given the greatest honor of being reduced to nothing by the only thing in this world that could give her happiness. Despite the way she acted throughout the story, Makima had always wished for an equal reciprocation of love and affection between herself and others. Makima's desire is at its core a basic human desire that we all share. She was simply unable to experience it for herself, and became disillusioned with all of existence. She could not consider anyone but the Chainsaw Man to be her equal, and wished to make this world of lesser creatures into one that she could make the most of. With all this in mind, there is a clear sadness in Makima beneath all her detachment, making her somewhat of a tragic character who could never reach the ideal relationship she so desired. control and dominance being the only way that she could express herself to others. Through the rebirth of Makima into Nayuta, it is shown that the idea of control is something that must continue to exist, even if it can potentially lead to harm. Control, to some extent, is an essential aspect of human society and existence itself. It is not something that can be done away with, but at the same time, it must be balanced by empathy, which was something that Makima truly lacked. Control without empathy and respect for others is simply tyranny, in which oppression is normalized to further the interests of those in power. Authoritarianism and oppression are linked to the concept of control, but they are far from the only ways it can be enacted. Control of oneself and the control of those who would abuse their own power must exist in order for freedom to also exist. Perhaps the Chainsaw Man realized this and chose not to eat Makima because of this very reason. Makima was in all intents and purposes a tyrant, who viewed all of existence except one as beneath her, but if she had compassion for others, she really could have changed the world for the better. Empathy and respect for others make all the difference in human relationships, especially between people and those with power over them. Makima is not only a demonstration of the nature of control and the many ways it can be beneficial or harmful, but it shows that in our heart of hearts we seek meaningful relationships and connection. Something I'm sure can resonate with many, and shows that Makima is essential to the message Fujimoto leaves us with, that we should both figuratively and literally lots and lots of hugs. Thank you always.